so I told you guys about how I bought my first my first barbershop. And now I want to tell you how I got my second one. So my second one, it was a little different. It was a unique situation. I always look for barbershops that are not that busy because, quite frankly, I like to get out of there fast. So I found one barbershop, and it only had one barber in it and a stylist, but she was part-time. And so I went to that barbershop, and I noticed that it seemed like it just had a dead vibe in it. It was very nice inside. I mean, and the barber could cut pretty decent, but it seemed like it was dying the more, I guess I went there probably about 3 months. And so finally I asked the guy said to me one day, and someday it just popped in my head, I was like, well, I wonder if she'll sell this to me. Even though I ain't have a whole lot of money to work with to buy it. But I figured I could negotiate something. So ironically, around that same week when I was thinking of that, the barber said to me he'd take my number because I might not be here too much longer. We're about to close down. I said, oh yeah? Give me the owner of the shop's number. Let me call her up. So I called her up, and she told me she was looking for somebody to sell it anyway. Oh, I'm sorry, to buy it anyway. And so, and of course she was renting. So what happened was, I worked out a deal with her to purchase her equipment from her and take over her lease. So what happened was, I didn't have a bunch of money at the time. Now, I knew that I probably wasn't going to get lucky enough to get the type of deal I got at my first barbershop because I didn't know these people I was working with. The landlord of that owned that actual building, and then the lady herself who owned the equipment and the barbershop. So what I ended up doing was I said, okay, well, I'm going to need at least a few grand to buy the equipment from her. Now, I don't have a few grand, but I could spare a few hundred. I just need to find, if I can find a partner, and that way, even if we go in a negative as far as barbers, because I told you, like I said, we only had one barber in there when we were renting out the booth. Okay, you rent the booth out $100 every week, 100 times 4 weeks in a month, roughly $400 a month. Okay, so if your rent was $600, there go the majority of your rent right there. So anyway, and so I'm thinking, okay, well, if I get a partner and split this thing in half, it'll be cheaper on me as far as buying more equipment or upgrading later on, and to grow the business and to invest in it. And also, if we in the negative, then we can split the rent and the lights and the waters every month. So what I did in order to find a partner, because I'm not a big fan of throwing something on Craigslist and I'm looking for a partner or an investor, which I should probably start being open to do. But I like to try to get somebody that I know. So what I did in order to find somebody was I just started talking. Everywhere I go, I was just going to go hang with the fellas one day, or if I was at my job or wherever, I would just mention that I found this good opportunity. I just wish that I had somebody that was interested in investing with me. And so one day I was just hanging with my partners, and one of my guys heard me talking about it. He said, well, I'll tell you what. Whenever you want to go by to see it, I'll go with you because I'm ready to go in. I've been looking for something like that. And so we did go by and we looked at it, and he ended up wanting to do it with me. And so I called the lady up. I told her, I said, well, look, I got a partner. We don't have the whole amount that you're asking for the equipment, but we can have about half of that. And so she didn't really want to do that deal. So the owner of the building, who I was also in contact with, called me that day and asked me was I still going to buy the barbershop, take over the lease. And I told her no, because the lady, I can't afford equipment. So this guy, what he did was he said, well, wait a minute, let me talk to her. Because what happened was she was in the rear in her rent too. So this guy needed somebody to pay his rent so he could pay mortgage, same as the last one. She needed somebody to take over because she was indebted to him. So what he did was negotiate on my behalf this time. I did some negotiating. He came back and he kind of finished the deal. He called her up and he asked her to include. No, what he did, he told her to cut the price off in half. We just pay half half of what she was asking for, and he'll take away her debt that she owed him. And that's how we did it. So we did that. We went and we cut her a check. And then, of course, now we had to pay this guy a deposit and first month rent. So what did we do? Well, we can't give you a deposit and first month rent now. But I tell you what. How about we give you first month rent now, and then the second month we'll give you the deposit along with the second month rent, because that way we have some money generated. I have a barber that I'm bringing in. My other guy had a stylist that he was bringing in, and that way we'll have the extra money. So that's what we did, and it worked. And so that's pretty much my story. I mean, I found that's pretty much a lesson on how to find a partner. Just talk and open up your mouth. And also how to find an opportunity. I mean, that's just a small opportunity. And but I just want to give you an example of how things can work, even if you don't have a whole lot of money, or if you're not connected to a bunch of wealthy people. But if you got the desire and the will, you can figure something out. So I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you like it, subscribe, and share it, do what you want to do. And see y'all next time.